Have you ever stopped to think about your kidneys? Probably not. Most of us don't. We think about our heart when we feel chest pain. We think about our lungs when we're short of breath. We think about our stomach when something doesn't agree with us. But the kidneys, they quietly do their job every minute of every day without asking for attention. Every 24 hours, they filter nearly 50 gallons of blood. They remove waste, balance minerals, regulate fluids, help control blood pressure, support healthy red blood cell production, all without us ever noticing. That's why kidney disease is often called a silent illness. Many people lose a significant amount of kidney function before experiencing any obvious symptoms. By the time swelling appears, or fatigue becomes overwhelming, or blood tests begin showing abnormal results, damage may already have been developing for years. Perhaps that's why doctors encourage us not to wait until something feels wrong before caring for our kidneys. Healthy kidneys are built one day at a time, one healthy meal, one healthy habit, one wise decision after another. Now here's something fascinating. Long before medical laboratories, long before blood tests, long before anyone understood how kidneys actually worked, God provided His people with foods that nourished the body remarkably well. The Bible never says these foods cure kidney disease, and neither will we. If you have chronic kidney disease, kidney stones, diabetes, or high blood pressure, your healthcare provider should always guide your treatment. But isn't it interesting that many fruits mentioned throughout Scripture are now being studied because of their antioxidants, fiber, healthy fats, and anti-inflammatory compounds? The more scientists learn, the more they discover that many traditional whole foods support the very organs that keep us alive. Today, we're exploring 5 biblical fruits that may help support healthy kidneys as part of an overall healthy lifestyle. Not miracle cures, not ancient secrets, simply God's provision, still nourishing people thousands of years later. Let's begin with perhaps the most important fruit in the entire Bible. Fruit number 1, olives. If you had asked an Israelite living during the time of King David which fruit was most valuable, many would have answered, without hesitation, the olive. Olive trees weren't planted for one generation. They were planted for many generations. Some olive trees lived hundreds of years. Grandparents harvested fruit from trees planted by their grandparents. Few plants better represented faithfulness and endurance. Throughout Scripture, olives appear everywhere. After the flood, the dove returned to Noah carrying an olive leaf. The tabernacle and temple were illuminated by lamps fueled with olive oil. Kings and priests were anointed with it. The Good Samaritan poured oil onto wounds to comfort the injured traveler. Olive oil wasn't simply food. It represented healing, peace, blessing. Today, researchers continue discovering why Mediterranean cultures have treasured olives for thousands of years. Extra virgin olive oil contains abundant monounsaturated fats, together with hundreds of natural plant compounds called polyphenols. These compounds help reduce oxidative stress throughout the body. Why is that important for the kidneys? Because every single day your kidneys filter enormous amounts of blood. Over time, chronic inflammation and oxidative stress can damage the tiny blood vessels responsible for that filtration. Healthy blood vessels help healthy kidneys. Several large dietary studies have shown that Mediterranean-style eating patterns rich in extra virgin olive oil are associated with healthier blood pressure and lower rates of cardiovascular disease. That matters because high blood pressure remains one of the leading causes of kidney damage worldwide. Scientists also believe the anti-inflammatory compounds in olive oil may help protect delicate kidney tissues from long-term stress, although research continues to evolve. The simplest way to enjoy this biblical fruit is also the healthiest. Replace butter or heavily processed cooking oils with extra virgin olive oil. Drizzle it over vegetables. Use it in homemade salad dressings. Cook with it gently. Notice the principle. The greatest benefit often comes through substitution, not addition. Sometimes protecting your kidneys begins with replacing one ordinary habit. Fruit number 2, pomegranates. Few fruits are as visually unforgettable as the pomegranate. Break one open, and hundreds of brilliant ruby-colored seeds appear inside. Perhaps that's one reason God chose this fruit to symbolize abundance. When Moses described the Promised Land, pomegranates were listed among its greatest blessings. The robe worn by Israel's high priest was embroidered with pomegranates. The great pillars outside Solomon's temple were decorated with hundreds of carved pomegranates. To ancient Israel, this fruit represented life overflowing. Modern science has become fascinated by something hidden inside those tiny seeds: powerful antioxidants. In fact, pomegranates contain some of the highest concentrations of natural polyphenols found in commonly eaten fruits. Why does this matter for kidney health? Every kidney contains around 1 million tiny filtering units called nephrons. These microscopic structures work tirelessly to remove waste while keeping essential nutrients inside the body. Like every hard-working system, they are vulnerable to damage from chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. Researchers have investigated whether the antioxidants found in pomegranates may help reduce some of that cellular stress. Several studies suggest pomegranate compounds support healthier blood vessel function and may reduce markers of inflammation. Others have explored their role in supporting cardiovascular health, an important connection because the heart and kidneys work as partners. When the heart pumps efficiently, the kidneys receive healthy blood flow. When kidney function declines, the heart often suffers as well. Neither organ truly works alone. For that reason, foods supporting cardiovascular health may indirectly benefit kidney health too. One practical lesson is worth remembering. Choose the whole fruit whenever possible. The juicy seeds provide fiber together with antioxidants. Many commercial juices remove much of that fiber while concentrating natural sugars. Whole foods almost always provide the better package. One word of caution. People with advanced kidney disease often need individualized nutrition advice regarding potassium and other minerals. That's why it's always wise to discuss dietary changes with your kidney specialist or dietitian if you already have reduced kidney function. God's provision is wonderful, but wisdom includes knowing how to apply it to our own unique circumstances. Fruit number 3, apples. When people think about fruits in the Bible, apples are rarely the first to come to mind. Yet they appear in Scripture as symbols of beauty, refreshment, and delight. In the Song of Solomon we read, "Like an apple tree among the trees of the forest is my beloved among the young men." The picture is one of shade on a hot day, refreshing fruit after a long journey, simple nourishment provided at exactly the right moment. Sometimes the greatest blessings are also the simplest. That may explain why apples have remained one of the world's most widely consumed fruits for centuries. They're affordable, easy to carry, available almost everywhere, and surprisingly powerful from a nutritional perspective. Apples are especially rich in a soluble fiber called pectin. Unlike many refined carbohydrates that are digested rapidly, pectin slows digestion. That means glucose enters the bloodstream more gradually. Healthier blood sugar matters because diabetes remains one of the leading causes of chronic kidney disease throughout the world. Protecting your kidneys often begins long before kidney problems appear. It begins by protecting the tiny blood vessels that supply them. Apples also contain vitamin C, together with dozens of natural plant compounds known as flavonoids. One of these compounds, quercetin, has attracted significant scientific interest because of its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Researchers continue studying whether these natural compounds help reduce oxidative stress throughout the body, including within kidney tissue. Although no fruit can prevent kidney disease on its own, eating antioxidant-rich whole foods consistently appears to support healthier aging. Another fascinating area of research focuses on the gut microbiome. Remember the pectin we talked about earlier? When it reaches the large intestine, beneficial bacteria use it as food. Those bacteria produce substances that help regulate inflammation throughout the body. Scientists increasingly believe that gut health and kidney health are more closely connected than previously imagined. It's a relationship sometimes called the gut-kidney axis. When the gut microbiome becomes healthier, inflammation may decrease. Lower inflammation means less stress on blood vessels, and healthier blood vessels support healthier kidneys. Perhaps that's one more reminder that God designed the body as an interconnected whole. Every system supports another. One healthy choice often benefits far more than the organ we intended. One practical habit is beautifully simple. Instead of reaching for a processed afternoon snack, enjoy a fresh apple with a handful of unsalted almonds. The fiber from the apple combines with the healthy fats and protein from the almonds to create lasting satisfaction while avoiding many highly processed foods that contribute little nutritional value. Sometimes protecting your kidneys doesn't require expensive supplements. Sometimes it begins with replacing one snack. Fruit number 4, grapes. When Moses sent 12 spies into the Promised Land, they returned carrying a cluster of grapes so enormous that 2 men carried it suspended on a pole. That unforgettable image became a symbol of God's abundant provision. Later, vineyards would become one of Scripture's most powerful pictures of peace, blessing, and faithful living. Jesus himself said, "I am the vine, you are the branches." For the people listening, vineyards represented daily life. Every family understood their value. Today, red and purple grapes continue attracting attention for a very different reason. Their skins contain remarkable natural compounds called polyphenols. One of the best known is resveratrol. Researchers have spent years studying resveratrol because of its potential role in supporting cardiovascular health and reducing oxidative stress. Why does that matter for the kidneys? Because healthy kidneys depend on healthy blood vessels. Every day, enormous volumes of blood pass through millions of microscopic filters inside these organs. Those tiny blood vessels must remain healthy for the kidneys to function properly. Conditions such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and chronic inflammation gradually damage those vessels over many years. Scientists continue investigating whether diets naturally rich in antioxidants help protect blood vessels from that long-term stress. While no single fruit can eliminate that risk, diets rich in colorful fruits and vegetables consistently show benefits for overall cardiovascular health. Another advantage of grapes is their naturally high water content. Proper hydration plays an important role in kidney function because the kidneys depend on adequate fluid to remove waste products efficiently. Of course, drinking water remains the most important source of hydration. But water-rich foods contribute as well. Grapes also satisfy the desire for something sweet without relying on highly processed desserts. Again, the whole fruit is the better choice. When grapes are turned into juice, much of their fiber disappears. Without fiber slowing digestion, natural sugars are absorbed much more quickly. Whole grapes provide sweetness, together with water, fiber, vitamins, and protective plant compounds, exactly as nature intended. There is another lesson hidden here. Many people believe healthy eating requires expensive superfoods imported from distant countries. Yet one of the fruits most celebrated throughout Scripture is sitting in nearly every grocery store. God's provision has often been remarkably accessible. Simple foods, prepared simply, enjoyed with gratitude. That's a pattern repeated throughout the entire Bible, and perhaps it's one we would do well to rediscover today. Fruit number 5, fresh figs. If there is one fruit that seems to appear throughout nearly every stage of biblical history, it is the fig. Adam and Eve covered themselves with fig leaves after the fall. When the Israelite spies returned from Canaan, figs were among the fruits they carried back as evidence of the land's extraordinary abundance. The prophet Isaiah instructed that a poultice of figs be placed on King Hezekiah's illness, and Jesus often taught beside fig trees, using them to illustrate lessons about faith, readiness, and spiritual fruitfulness. To the people of biblical times, sitting beneath your own vine and fig tree represented peace, security, and God's blessing. But beyond its symbolism, fresh figs also offer something that modern nutrition continues to appreciate. They're naturally rich in dietary fiber. Fiber plays an important role throughout the body. It supports healthy digestion. It helps slow the absorption of carbohydrates. It contributes to healthier blood sugar control. And perhaps most importantly for kidney health, better blood sugar management helps protect the tiny filtering units inside the kidneys from long-term damage. Diabetes remains one of the leading causes of chronic kidney disease around the world. Every healthy decision that supports stable blood sugar is also a decision that supports healthier kidneys. Fresh figs also provide antioxidants that help reduce oxidative stress. Why is oxidative stress important? Because every day, your kidneys work continuously to filter waste from your bloodstream. Like any hard-working organ, they are exposed to constant metabolic activity. Researchers believe that reducing unnecessary oxidative stress may help support healthier kidney function over time, particularly as part of an overall healthy lifestyle. Here we should pause for an important reminder. Figs also contain potassium. For most healthy people, potassium is an essential mineral that supports muscles, nerves, and normal blood pressure. However, people with advanced chronic kidney disease are often advised to limit potassium because damaged kidneys may struggle to remove excess amounts from the body. This is why there is no single, perfect diet for everyone. The healthiest food for one person may not be appropriate for someone with advanced kidney disease. Wisdom means applying knowledge carefully. If your kidneys are already damaged, always follow the guidance of your nephrologist or renal dietitian before making significant dietary changes. God's provision often comes wrapped in simplicity. For everyone else, enjoying fresh figs in moderation as part of a balanced diet is a beautiful reminder that God's provision often comes wrapped in simplicity. Final thoughts. So what do these 5 biblical fruits have in common? Olives nourish the cardiovascular system with healthy fats and powerful polyphenols. Pomegranates provide remarkable antioxidants that help protect blood vessels from oxidative stress. Apples offer fiber that supports healthy blood sugar while feeding the beneficial bacteria that influence inflammation throughout the body. Grapes contribute water, antioxidants, and natural plant compounds that support healthy circulation. Fresh figs combine fiber and protective nutrients that fit beautifully into a balanced lifestyle. Notice something important. Not one of these fruits promises to cure kidney disease. Not one replaces medication. Not one removes the need for regular checkups or medical care. Instead, each reminds us of a much deeper principle. God designed the human body to thrive on real food, simple food, wholesome food, food that nourishes rather than merely satisfies. Kidney health is rarely determined by one extraordinary meal. It's shaped by thousands of ordinary choices. Choosing water instead of sugary drinks, preparing meals at home more often, keeping blood pressure under control, managing diabetes faithfully, staying physically active, sleeping well, and filling your table with foods that have nourished generations long before highly processed convenience foods existed. Perhaps that's one reason the Bible spends so much time describing vineyards, olive groves, fig trees, and fruitful harvests. These weren't merely details about agriculture. They were reminders that God's provision is both practical and generous. The same Creator who designed your kidneys also filled the earth with foods capable of nourishing the body they serve. Our responsibility is not to search endlessly for miracle cures. Our responsibility is to become wise stewards of the gifts we've already been given, because health, much like faith, is often built through daily faithfulness rather than dramatic moments. One healthy meal, one healthy walk, one good night's sleep, one wise decision repeated again and again. Over time, those small acts become a life. So the next time you see olives, pomegranates, apples, grapes, or fresh figs, perhaps you'll see more than fruit. Perhaps you'll be reminded of God's quiet provision, a provision that has nourished His people for thousands of years, and still has something to teach us today. Thank you so much for watching. May the Lord bless you with wisdom, strength, and good health as you continue caring for the body He has entrusted to you. And until next time, may God bless you and your family.